Psalm 91. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near you, your dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation.
I'm Lara Logan, and you are watching His Glory TV with the amazing, the incomparable, the formidable Pastor Dave Scarlett.
And we want to welcome all of His Glory Nation from east to west to north to south. Welcome to today's Take 5. We have Dean Cain in the house with us. I like to call him Superman because he's a Superman that loves the Lord. Great patriot. So we're going to get Dean on and talk a little bit about State of the State and his movie. We'll bring Dean on just after these quick announcements. First, Kingdom Energy. Get your temple energy. This is our joint venture with Dr. Sherwood. We create the whole Kingdom line. These are energy packs that you can take with you, put it into any type of beverage. Best way is the hydrogen, our hydrogen water, but it's a great pick-me-up naturally compared to the next slide. Red Bull Monster. Yeah, we just had Dr. Artis on about 20 minutes ago. He confirmed what Dr. Sherwood says. There's formaldehyde in those drinks. Red Bull Monster, Rockstar. Get all that junk out. Get the Kingdom Energy and make your body better. All right, prayer kits. Take authority in the name of Christ around your territory, north, south, east to the west. Take the stakes with biblical references on it. Mama His Glory gives you the prayer shawl from Israel to get deep in prayer. The shofar to go far. These are authentic ram's horn from our partners in Jerusalem. The enemy does not like blowing the shofar. And then the anointing oil, the Lion of Judah. This literally comes from the fields of Boaz and King David in Bethlehem. And last, Billion Soul Harvest. Help us to get to 1 billion souls on hisglory.me, our 24/7 TV, and hisglory.tv, where we bring in movies and documentary and music. We can't do it without you. We're going into the 7 mountains to bring 1 billion souls to our King of Kings and Lord of Hosts. All right, those are all the announcements. It's time for Dean Cain. Dean, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So why don't you give our audience just a quick background? I was thinking of you as Superman. And as I told you, just in the last 2 weeks, I've had 3 or 4 people bring up your name. And every time I hear your name, it's always positive. Never a bad thing. That's a good thing.
Oh, you must be talking to conservatives then.
I don't talk a lot to the crazies on the left. No.
I was a college football player, went to Princeton University, played for the Buffalo Bills, ended up getting a chance to play Superman. After that, got into film. I grew up the son of a director, so I've been in the film world my whole life. And then my son was born in the year 2000. That was a big switching point for me because I really I'd always been searching for my faith and searching for things of that nature and trying to figure out what I really truly believed in my heart of hearts. And then when my son was born, man, witnessing the miracle of life, and then having someone be more important to me than me, really brought things full circle. And that's when I really sort of dived more deeply into my faith and Christ, and paying attention to all those things in a different way. It happens it's tougher when you're younger, because your mind is so new. But as you get to experience the life, for me, that's when it kicked in. And that's when I started making a lot more family friendly and faith friendly films. And I continue to make them today. And the culmination is our latest, Little Angels, which comes out Friday, June 6th. It's out in theaters now.
Yeah. So tell us about Little Angels.
So Little Angels is the story of a college football superstar coach, like a Nick Saban, who ends up saying something a little bit controversial. He's making fun of, female athletes playing male sports, and ends up getting in trouble for it, and doesn't like soccer, doesn't like kids, but ends up having to save his job, he has to go coach a ragtag misfit group of under 13-year-old, they play the U13 girls soccer. Doesn't know anything about soccer, just doesn't want to be there. But through those young players, those young athletes, those lovely young girls, he learns to they teach him grace. He gives them grit and teaches them to be winners, and they teach him grace. But it's a comedy. It's fun. There's romance. There's comedy. There's great soccer and great teamwork. And what the big message is, you can't do it on your own. You need to rely on your other teammates, and being part of a team is like being part of a family, and that means somebody's always got your back and someone's there to support you. There's a little bit of faith in there, and there's a whole lot of laughs. It's the underdog story that does well, and it's a feel-good family movie that I hope people go and watch, because we need more of this kind of material out there in the world of entertainment.
We certainly do. And maybe you can speak to that a little bit. You came from Hollywood, and being with Jesus, being a conservative is very difficult in Hollywood. I know a lot of people, like we talked about Nick Searcy and Kevin Sorbo. They've kind of made that move like your move. How difficult is that? And what do you think the future is? I always talk about Hollywood's coming down and we're going to have a Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. I like that idea. Well, if you make those kind of films, faith-based films, it gets looked down on in Hollywood. It's shunned. Maybe, you look at a movie like Passion of the Christ, and that's amazing. And that's obviously incredible and did really well. But, the smaller Christian, God's Not Dead did very well. Yeah. But a lot of the smaller Christian, and I make a lot of these small movies with JC Films. I do it because I want to get as many out as possible. And I want young Christian filmmakers to be involved. But it's looked down upon and frowned upon in Hollywood. It's like, oh, you can't go and make the, Marvel's superhero movie or this, that. And the truth is, those movies don't change people. They don't affect their faith. They don't do anything. They're not really telling real stories. It's escapism, and that's fine. That's great. But to have movies that touch people's hearts and change their lives, that's wonderful. I mean, even the God's Not Dead. There was the one scene I do with the woman who plays my mother, and I explained to her, you're the nicest person I know, and I'm awful. You have dementia. Look at me. My life's perfect. And she goes on and explains that sometimes the devil doesn't want certain people turning to God. And why it's the most powerful scene. And that kind of stuff changes lives. And so I want to be involved with that as much as I can be.
Yeah, so describe how difficult it is to break away from Hollywood, or being shunned because you're a conservative or you're a Christian. And, a friend of mine is Mike Smith, who is the stuntman. He told me the stories of getting out of Hollywood is very difficult, and you're targeted.
Oh, yeah. Well, they just, again, it's frowned upon. It's like, oh, wow, you what traditional values you have and how awful. However, like every third movie is, law enforcement officers and somebody doing something to say, it's like, wait a minute, where do you really sit? Hollywood is a weird place. I left Hollywood 2 years ago, and I'm ecstatic about doing so. But I was raised in Malibu by my adoptive father, who was a farm boy from South Dakota, who had strong middle America values. I still say I believe in truth, justice, and the American way. And it's great that Superman was adopted, as I was, and raised by someone with small town American values like I was. So I have great parallels there. But it is difficult in Hollywood because it's not seen as edgy or cool to do something where you're, doing a film about faith or talking about, saving someone's life, or their faith in God saves their life. It's an odd thing. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. Although things seem to be changing.
Yeah.
Every single studio now has a faith and family division within them because there's a big desire for it. I mean, you want to watch a movie with your family and experience something and talk about something important. A lot of these other films aren't going to cut it. The big Hollywood tentpoles aren't going to cut it. But a movie like Little Angels will, or God's Not Dead will. So I'm going to continue making these films. I'm very blessed and lucky to be able to do so. Look at those little faces. Those young ladies are so great, and I'm so proud of this film. And again, these are the kind of things. It's an underdog story that can change people's lives.
And that's what we need in America today, is to change people's lives, a hope and a promise, and stuff like Little Angel. You said it's coming out in theaters everywhere?
And theaters, not everywhere. I wish it was everywhere, but there's a couple big movies like, Mission Impossible that are out there taking up some of the theaters, eating up the theaters. But it's in select theaters. If you go to littleangelsmovie.com and then click theaters, it'll tell you where it's playing in your area, and if it's not in your area, you can hit demand, and it'll play there. If we get enough people to demand it, because the theaters want to put in films that are desired. You never know when you make a movie how it's going to affect people. Yeah. When you make a TV show, make a commercial, do a meme, whatever it happens to be, and they have a life of their own. And I'm hoping this one catches fire because it's got a really strong family message. And again, he teaches them how to be winners and the importance of teamwork, and then they teach him how to have grace and be a better human being. So it's a lovely win-win story. And if you don't leave there with a smile, I have failed in my job, and I don't like failing.
You can't fail. Yeah, this is absolutely. We want to get people a future and a hope with movies, and that's why everybody needs to go do this. Because if we, the people, go out and support movies like this and go into these movie theaters, like you said, Dean, the owners they like business, and they're going to want to continue to expand it and bring more movies like that. And that's exactly what America needs. I'll let you talk about that before we go to the break.
That's 100% true. If people were supporting these films, if people go out and support Little Angels, there'll be 25 different studios trying to make the next Little Angels. So that kind of support is 100% needed. I appeal to everybody to go out and see this movie and make it a success, so we can make more of them.
Absolutely. We, the people, can take it. We got to take action. We can't just sit back and say, "Oh, Hollywood's done." We got to go out and make it happen. We'll be right back with Dean Cain.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
I'm Jonathan Rose, CEO of Genesis Gold Group. As the national debt grows and the government continues to devalue your hard-earned savings, physical assets like gold and silver can provide stability, security, and peace of mind. Now is the time to educate yourself on the importance of including gold and silver. Call now and we'll include our extremely popular Silver Prepper Bar free when you open your account. Call Genesis Gold Group today at 800-200-GOLD, only available through Genesis Gold Group.
All right, we're back with Dean Cain. Let's just finish up our conversation and the break. And sometimes our break conversations should be recorded. But this is where we're at, America, to see good content. What Americans have to do. And I was telling you about, I know some people that have a lot of money. They put money into these politicians, but when it comes to a good content movie that can change people, you mentioned Andrew Breitbart. Talk about that.
Well, a lot of people make political donations trying to get somebody in power who will do things, and that's great. But how much does that really affect how people think and feel? When you make a movie, you spend a couple $1 million on a movie, you put that in there, millions of people will see it and experience it, and you get a message to them about, say, family values, or overcoming obstacles, or this or that, and that sort of thing translates to quietly changing the culture. Andrew Breitbart was a friend of mine, and he said, politics are downstream from culture. It's a very famous quote, and it's very true. So if we make, films that culturally change the way people are seeing things, that $2 million donation to the political candidate might go a little ways. You spend a couple $1 million on a film, and guys like myself and Nick Searcy and Kevin Sorbo and guys, we'll make films that hopefully will get millions of eyeballs on them and quietly, slowly help change the culture to help change the policies.
And many of these people that I know are strong Christians. And as you said, not just the political landscape, but planting that seed. I think there's nothing better than a movie that you don't know it's about Jesus, but it's giving you that hope, and it catches you in. Because we're looking to go out to the lost. We're not trying to preach to the church. We need to go out and get the lost.
100%. And even in this film, Little Angels, there's a character, Michaela. She's reading the Bible at the very beginning. He's like, "What are you reading?" He's meeting the team. He's like, "What are you reading?" She says, "The Bible." He goes, "Why?" She says, "Everlasting salvation, duh." And there's other moments throughout with this character goes throughout, and she is eternal salvation is what her exact quote was. But she's great. She's praying for him, and at one point in time he's like, "Why?" And she's like, "Because you need it," and he did need it. There's great moments in there, but we're not banging anybody over the head with this. And at the pivotal moment, she's saying a prayer and even naming the team. There's a funny bit that we posted online about her whole sort of arc, and it's great, but we're not banging people over the head with it. We're showing it in real life situations how important that faith is, and listen, people can claim to not have faith, and I don't know, I don't believe this, but when your life is on the line, or someone you love, you're talking to God. I know I'm talking to God all the time, and it's like, don't wait for that moment to have your conversations with God. Get out there and have them, and if you can show that happening in films, it'll become socially, more of a acceptable, which is so weird to say that it would be socially acceptable. Say, "I'll pray for you," or "I am praying for you," and when people mock, thoughts and prayers, that kind of stuff drives me crazy, because when it comes down to it, I have conversations with God all day, every day. And it's about my family and friends and the state of the world and things like that. And I think that's healthy. And I think we're all humbled before God. But some human beings sort of think that they're above that. Of course, until push comes to shove and it gets close to meeting your maker, you find God real quick.
You sure do, because I've had a lot of atheists come to me and say, will you pray for me? They don't believe, but when they really need it, they want that prayer. Talk about the power of we the people. How much, if we take action, instead of sitting back on our couch and saying, "I don't like what's on Netflix," what can they do? How do they take action to change the culture? Because it's their dollars that can change it.
Well, their dollars change everything. If people go and if Little Angels, for example, which is out in theaters now in select theaters, if people start demanding and it goes up and starts to make a ton of money, then all eyeballs got on it. What is this movie? What is happening here? It goes into more theaters, more eyeballs get on it. And that kind of support allows us to make more movies like that. And it's a hard thing to sell to people, because they don't think of it in those terms. Like, you going out and going to the movies makes it possible for us to make more movies like that. Going out and seeing family and faith-friendly movies gives us a chance to make more and more and better films. And Hollywood is a business, and if they see that that's where the dollars are going, they're going to make that kind of content. And then again, it's that circle. Then it starts to change the culture, and then we end up with a voting base in a country where American and Christian values are super important again. They're trying to get God out of all films and out of television shows and out of discussions, and we're trying to put God back in.
Well, that we've succumbed to that woke culture, a small minority, and the Christians and patriots have kind of sat back. It's time for us to go on the offense, because we are the majority, and get that back. Again,
100%.
Supporting Little Angels and more. Where do you see the future of movies going? Because you've seen it change.
Man, I couldn't see it going this way. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I can't be a predictor. I remember when people talking about streaming. I was like, we'll never have the bandwidth. It's impossible. I missed the boat on that one. It's just hard to say. I think that, the audiences dictate what kind of movies get made. And if people are showing up to family-friendly movies, we're going to be able to see more family-friendly movies. The cost of films have come down in terms of the technology you need to make these films. And I think that's very huge, because people can get involved. You can make a film today. You're a kid. You can take your iPhone. You can make a film on your iPhone. You can tell a story. I don't care what happens to AI. I don't care what all these things are. Eventually, it all comes down to human interaction and what human beings are saying to each other and what they're making each other feel. That's what we do. And I don't think we'll ever be replaced by AI or any of those things. And you have to care about the characters. And I don't care how many buildings you blow up. Again, if you don't care about the characters that are in them, you're not going to be emotionally attached to it. That's why, these Marvel movies are starting to go downhill. People are wanting some substance. They're wanting something that speaks to them or their family, or helps them through a situation that they're going through with their loved ones, or even their struggle in faith. I'm excited for Mel Gibson to make The Resurrection. Yeah. I cannot wait for that. That's going to be incredible. I love that shows like The Chosen have done so well. And that's wonderful. That speaks volumes for the people supporting this kind of stuff, and that's why we're ending up with more of it. So please keep supporting it, and let's make more and more content like this that is faith and family friendly.
I'm glad you brought up The Chosen, Dallas Jenkins. I know Dallas, and when they first came out, they're teetering a little bit. We got behind them to help them push it, but they kept with it. And the key component, in my opinion, to The Chosen was getting we the people to go watch it. They finally went out and started watching The Chosen, so they can do the same thing.
Then it becomes a big deal.
Yes.
Then it becomes a big deal. Then everybody hears about it. Even the people, again, like the lost, and those who are not already believers, people who aren't in church, people go out there and go like, "What is this? What is this Chosen thing?" And then they watch it, and that affects them. And that's the power of making content like that. And it's wonderful, because you can catch somebody who's not even thinking in those terms or doesn't realize they're searching, and they're like, wait a minute, let me reassess my life and my faith and be open to this. And it's a hugely powerful medium, and please keep supporting that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the key though, again, with everybody watching, is you got to take action. You just can't pray about it and clap your hands politely. Let's go out and make a difference. And people say they want content change. We can do that. Let's go out and make that happen. We only got a couple.
Thing. It's like, oh, sorry. It's the same thing. Like when you ask God for strength. God, make me strong. Help me through this. God doesn't give you the strength. He gives you the opportunity to be strong. So in this same instance, he's not going to just give us this situation. We have to go out there and do it. Take action. You're 100% right. Sorry, I had to just reiterate.
Yeah, this is coming from Superman. Listen to what Superman says. All right, I want you to. Can you touch on the role of Superman and how that impacted your life?
Oh, I mean, to play that character, I was just shocked that I got the role. I was shocked that I could, the idea of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to play Superman. They're going to call me Superman for the rest of my life. I couldn't fathom that. I mean, it's too much to make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Just was the greatest beginning of a career I could ever ask for. I still get called Superman all the time, which is, of all things to be called, it's pretty good. I've been called a lot worse, my friend, and probably will be again. But it's just a fantastic moniker to take with me. And I know it's not going to leave, and I'm okay with that. But when you do, fame is very fleeting. And if kids haven't seen that show, it's coming out in Blu-ray now, so more kids will be able to see it. But they won't know. Like, why do you call that guy Superman? Well, because he played Superman. I never saw him. I saw him on Ripley's Believe. That's the guy from Ripley's Believe It or Not. Or that's Coach Jake from Little Angels. And that's how fast it happened. So I'm blessed to have played Superman. It was incredible. I'll always be tied to that character, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's very cool. And I didn't know you were a football player until you just said that. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Buffalo Bills, baby. This could be our year.
Wow.
We say it. It's what we say. It's our mantra.
Well, I was a Lions fan all my life, and I got beat up. But until just recently, we're back. Or I wouldn't say back. We're finally there.
Heartbreaker last year. I was stunned that the Lions went down. So I'm big. I was born in Detroit, so I'm a big Lion fan.
I didn't know that either. Yeah, amazing. Small world. All right, Dean, we have about a minute, less than 2 minutes left. Again, talk about Little Angels and what action the His Glory Nation can take to go make that movie very successful, because we need it.
Yes. If people go out there and click on littleangels.com, Little Angels littleangelsmovie.com. Look for the theater near you. Click theaters. Find a theater that's near you. If there's not a theater near you, please demand it. And if you do, then we're going to be able to get in theaters everywhere. Bring your families. Bring the whole family. You should be inspired. You should laugh. Maybe a little bit of crying. There's romance. There's redemption. There is the underdog story. There's a lot of humor. And please go out and take your family out and to see it and support this movie so that we can make more movies like this. And hopefully it will inspire you and maybe even make a positive change in your life.
Yeah, so not only do that, but tell your friends and family and have them go out too, because that's kind of like the way The Chosen started. And it was word of mouth, build it and go. And again, we can make a huge difference if we go out and do that. And all right, we got 50 seconds left. We'll finish it off with sports. So who do you think's going to win it in football this year? NFL.
It's going to be the Buffalo Bills this year.
Yep.
Of course, I say that every year, and we get really close, but it's going to be the Buffalo Bills this year. Josh Allen won. He won the MVP last year. He just got married. Life is good. Good draft for the Bills. Let's go, Buffalo. And if it's not Buffalo, I just do not want it to be Kansas City or Philadelphia.
Well, how about Detroit? How about the Bills in Detroit for the
if it's
in the
Bills
Super
in
Bowl?
Detroit, I'm going to be torn because I love Dan Campbell. I love Detroit. It's where I'm from originally. I really wanted them to go well. They disappointed last year. Man, that'll be a tough one. If those two get there, there's going to be a great outcome regardless.
Well, if those two get there, I'm going for sure. I'm taking my son.
I'll be sitting on your lap.
All right, we'll be there. All right, again, go see Little Angels with Dean Cain. God bless you, and go into Shalom.